Hello and welcome to this video. I'll be giving you a quick introduction to the Power Query Editor and also explain what queries are inside the Power Query Editor. The Power Query Editor can be used to connect to one or many data sources. It also allows you to shape and transform the data to meet your requirements before you load the data model into the Power BI desktop. So you can activate the Power Query Editor in two ways. The first is when you are actually connected to a data source before you load the data into the Power BI desktop. And the second way is to interact with the Power Query Editor when you've already loaded the data into the Power BI desktop. So let's connect to a data source. So I'm going to click on this link and we are going to connect to an Access database. So I'll click Access database and click Connect and wait for the option. So I'll click on this. This is my Access database. I'll click Open. And once it connects, it will preview the data it's connected to inside this navigator window. So in order to activate the Power Query Editor, I will need to click on the tables here that I have access to. So I clicked on all the table. I don't have to. I can only just click on one and still get the same options. So in order to activate the Power Query Editor, we click on the Edit button. At this stage, we can transform the data the way we want before it gets loaded into the Power BI desktop. So click on the Edit button to activate the Power Query Editor. You can see here it says Untitled because this is a new document we haven't given a name to, and it says Power Query Editor. So now we have the queries inside this Power Query Editor. These are all the tables from the Access database that was pulled into this Power Query Editor. They are regarded as queries inside the Power Query Editor. They are not known as tables, but queries. So if you look on here, it says queries, and under query in brackets here, we have 6, which represent the 6 tables that I have connected to and brought in to the Power Query Editor. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to do a very quick transformation. So I'll click on this query here, which is a table. And you can see here on the side here, it's got ABC, which means the data type is represented as a text. So it inherits the data type from the source, but we can change that. Say, for example, I want to create some report with this data, but I want it to have the right format. The format at the moment is showing as text, but I want it to appear in a date format. So I click on this ABC here, and it gives me a drop down of the different data types I can change it to. Because I'm working with date, it's a date column. I click on date, and you can see here it's changed the format to a date format. So now I've finished with this minor transformation. What I need to do now to load all these queries into the Power BI desktop, I just come here and click on Close and Apply. It will then apply all these queries, including any changes, and then pull them into the Power BI desktop. So as you can see on the right here, the queries have all been pulled into the Power BI desktop. So now we've got all our queries inside the Power BI desktop. We can access the Power Query Editor again if we want to make more transformation to our queries, or if we want to make some changes. So the way to do that, you can come here in this ribbon area, click on Edit Queries, and that will launch the Power Query Editor. So this is launching the Power Query Editor after the data has been loaded. So you can then make further modifications of the data if you wish to do so, or if you want to connect to a new data source, you click on this option here that says new source. Click on that, and that will give you the option to connect to another data source. So you can always connect to more data sources and interact with that data inside the Power Query Editor. So the Power Query Editor is very useful, allows you to connect to one or many data sources. It allows you to shape and transform the data to meet your requirements, and also allows you to load that data model into the Power BI desktop. So you can make transformation before you bring the data into the Power BI desktop using the Power Query Editor, or you can make further transformation once the data is already inside the Power BI desktop using the Power Query Editor. So that's it for this video on Power Query Editor and queries. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.